Okay, we're going to go over how to use our new Heska Element Point of Care Analyzer, which we'll call the Heska Epoch. This is our new analyzer that's replacing the iStat. So first I'll go over how you're going to log in and use the analyzer. So on the home screen, you may come up, if somebody's been using the analyzer before you, and find that it's displaying this. You're ready to do a new sample. To close out of this, we're just going to hit the red X. User ID, right now we're just using 1 for everybody. No password is necessary, and you log in. Once you're logging in, it's just going to connect via Bluetooth connectivity to our server and to Impromed. While we're using the Epoch, when we're entering sample information, we're going to move away from the testing area to sample information. Your patient ID will be generated by your Impromed lab import request number. This is not going to be an automatic patient ID, the one we use to track our patients in the hospital. It will be generated again by your request in Impromed. So your number should be something like right now we're at about 1900. But it'll be a random number that's assigned to that lab request. We do want to tell the Epoch what sort of sample we're dealing with. Right now we're going to be running a dog venous sample, so I'm going to tell it dog venous. That allows it to import the correct information for normals after we run the sample. That's all the information that the Epoch needs. You can page through other screens and adjust your FiO2 for arterial samples or other things. As we all get more familiar, we'll use that a little bit more. For running a sample, I'm going to go back to my home screen about running my sample, and it is telling me I can insert my test cartridge to begin. The Heska cartridges are not refrigerated. They come 25 to a pack and in a foil pouch. We're going to tear it out of the foil pouch. The blue sample well is what you don't want to touch, and as we load the card into the analyzer, we want to have the blue well out and closest to us. We're going to slide it in the bay, and it's a quick, smooth insertion with a firm click at the end, and it's going to read the calibration bar, so it's quick and fully seated. It will display on the screen that it's read the calibration it's read the barcode for the card. If you have a barcode reading error, you can remove the cartridge and reload it again. We'll try smoother and probably faster for it to enable the barcode reader. If you have a calibration error, those cartridges cannot be used again and need to be thrown away and a new cartridge opened. Once the cartridge is loaded, we have 3 minutes to either obtain our sample or to get our sample or 3 minutes for calibration to occur before the cartridge is ready for any sample. With the Heska Epoch, we will be running either whole blood samples, so you can do arterial sticks, and used our balanced heparin arterial blood gas samplers, or you can use a green top tube with lithium heparin. I think most of the time we will be doing the lithium heparin. In that case, to load the sample into the analyzer, we can't use pipettes. So we're going to be utilizing syringes, and they need to be luer lock or luer tipped syringes. So a tuberculin syringe without the needle, or a 3cc luer locking with the needle detached. So right now the card is calibrating for 3 minutes, and you can look at getting your sample ready. Obviously we want to make sure it's well mixed. If we are relying on blood gas values, we do want to be aware of how much time or how much room air we're exposing our sample to. Right now we're going to focus on just using our green top lithium heparin for venous blood samples, as it's going to be the majority of what we run on our Epoch analyzer. Since I have a green top here that was drawn from a dog, I'm just going to mix it some, and I have a 1cc tuberculin syringe. We're going to be using the ones that come without needles because they're less expensive. We will keep a supply here stocked in the laboratory for that purpose. As the machine is calibrating right now, the screen is telling me it's calibrating and do not inject sample. Once that 3 minutes is up, it'll beep and tell me I'm allowed to add my sample. With this, machine requires is at least 0.1 mils of blood. What we want to be doing is loading up our syringes with probably 0.2 or 0.3 mils of our our lithium heparin treated blood. So I'm just going to go ahead and aspirate up my sample, making sure I don't have any large air bubbles in there. That's why I'm keeping the tip of the syringe pointed down. So we're avoiding large air bubbles. I have one small bubble. That's okay. That's not the part of the sample I will be injecting into the analyzer. So I am just going to, as the end of the sample here has been exposed to room air, I'm going to go ahead and create a drop and just whisk it away from the tip of the syringe without touching the chem wipe or lint-free wipe to the syringe itself. My analyzer is now displaying inject sample. So I'm ready, it had beeped and I'm ready to put my sample in. We're going to add the sample to the blue well. You lock your syringe in straight up and down and twist a little to get a firm up and down setting, and then you're going to depress the plunger. And I'm going to have you focus on, while I do that, is this U. There's going to be an air bubble that shows up here, and immediately after the air bubble is showing up, there will be a beep. We want to rely on the air bubble being shown at the bottom of the U or a little past as far as how much sample to add. It should be time-wise calibrated to about the beep. So I'm going to go ahead and inject my sample. There's my air bubble. It beeped. I removed my syringe and the analyzer is completing its analysis now. The full analysis takes 37 seconds. So we'll be getting results quickly. This will completely import on its own in Impromed, and that will be explained more in the email on exactly how it's all happening and what we're doing here in the clinic to keep the records concise and in the right spot. Once the analyzer has displayed results, you're not completely finished with the analyzer and the data hasn't been transmitted. So there is one last step to making sure that this gets imported into a record. So it's displayed test completed and calculating results. We've got a few more seconds and we're gonna get a multi-tabbed result screen that has our blood gases, our chemistries, which is our electrolytes and calculated values, and then our metabolic values. When we see all these are displayed and done, or when the machine is finished, to get it to import and into Impromed, we're gonna hit the red X. It goes through Bluetooth connectivity again. It's also going to sync up and make sure through the Bluetooth that it always has the correct time and date. We don't need to do anything to calibrate this machine or to get it the right time. Now I'm getting an error message, which is good. It says retry synchronization. Just means for some reason the Bluetooth didn't receive the message clear enough. I'm actually going to scoot the analyzer a little closer. I don't think that's the issue, and then just hit retry synchronization, and it's connecting to our Bluetooth module, and now hopefully this time it'll transmit. Seriously. And now it's completely done. So I did have to retry that twice. Again, it should be mostly foolproof. Most of the time you won't have to deal with that, but it's fairly straightforward and stepwise in what you need to do. To get back to the home screen again, I'm just going to hit the red X, and it will, in the end, link up and bring me back to the full home screen. And that's how we run a sample on our Heska Epoch Analyzer.